You only asked me to remove one question. I'm getting a look. You asked me to remove the question, how many times were you proposed to? I'm not going to ask you how many times you were proposed to. I'm just going to ask you why you asked me to remove the question. It was multiple times, guys.
Hello, everybody. It's your host, Andrew Namanny. Welcome back to Permission to Shine, all of my favorite people. Today's episode is exceedingly special. This is a guest who is a co-founder of Elite Executive Partner, a staffing agency and human resources consulting business, and she is perfectly positioned to do so because she is a chief problem solver. She is somebody who has taught me more than anybody else on this earth. I look up to her. I learn from her. Honestly, guys, I just want to make her happy. It's one of my biggest missions in life. Today's guest, Chris Namanny, is none other than my mother. She is somebody that my friends would come to visit without even seeing me because she would solve their problems. She has that ability. And I'm so excited to finally give you guys a glimpse into how special this woman truly is. Mom, I love you. I respect you. I adore you. And I'm so thankful for the life that you've given me. Without further ado, let's get into it with none other than my mom, Chris Namanny.
This is a big moment. Permission to shine with my mother. A moment I have waited 2 years for. Welcome to the studio, Mom.
Happy to be here, Andrew.
Where are we right now?
We are in LA.
LA. How does it feel for you? It's not a place that you spent a ton of time. What do you think so far?
I like it. I like the diversity. I like the buzz. So much is happening around us. The culture, the views, the shopping.
I feel like you were a hater for a while.
I was.
I mean, I lived here for
I
2
was.
years. You guys never came to visit me.
Yeah. So 30 plus years ago, Steve, Dad, and I came here, and we had not a nickel to our name. We were paycheck to paycheck, and we walked down Rodeo Drive and went, oh my God, this is unreal. How do these people afford it? So,
What, the $1,000 shirts?
oh yeah, we were like afraid to even touch them.
Did people welcome you into the stores? Or were they like,
Oh no, they looked right at us and went, why are you here?
you guys are, go back to
Yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah. So I didn't get a great representation. So this time I feel like I'm really seeing it and understanding how wonderful the people are here.
Yeah, that's true. Did you ever think back then, 30 years ago, or even like as a kid, that someday you'd be, owning and running a business and owning multiple homes and like being able to kind of do whatever you want?
Absolutely not. I had hoped, but that was beyond my wildest dreams. I can remember being an undergraduate and sitting outside of Mount Mercy on a curb staring at a house across the way that was probably a $100,000 house back then. And that was my dream. I
Wow.
thought, I will have made it if I can just have a family that I love and a family that loves me and a house like that. To me, that was the dream. And it still is. I still feel very blessed and very lucky for, what we do have.
Why do you think that was specifically the dream? The house and
Well,
a family that loves you and that you love.
I wanted to be able to control my own roof. I wanted to be able to create a family, a home that was loving, supportive, calm, nurturing.
Yeah. Were those things you did not have as a kid?
Oh, man, you're going there. Holy he did not give me these questions, guys. My parents did. I was the youngest of 5, all girls, 5 kids in 8 years. You know this. Your audience doesn't. And so my parents did the best they could, the best they knew how. Sometimes that was okay, and sometimes it wasn't great. I didn't starve.
Your bedroom
Yeah.
was in the kitchen?
Yeah. When we moved to Sioux City, Iowa, we moved into my grandma's house. My great grandma had died, and she wanted a place for her sister to go. So the deal was we could move into that house free as long as Aunt Bert could live with us. And so I got the upstairs kitchen turned in, and they put a bed in there. But again, I didn't know the difference. So I was okay with that. And I had siblings who took great care of me. They were more my parents than my true parents were. Um, so in some ways, I was very, very lucky.
Mm. I wonder if being the youngest of 5 girls, one, what that did to you, and two, did you ever want a brother?
Um, no, at the time, I didn't want a brother only because my mom was a man hater. And so she would be like, men are terrible, men are cheaters, men are, So I felt lucky to not have a brother.
Interesting.
But as I got older, I understood having a brother was an advantage because you figured out that boys and girls are the same. We think alike mostly. So I think having a brother would have been advantageous to me because I was sheltered and somewhat immature. So, but again, I had great sisters, so I was lucky for that.
Yeah. Did that man hater thing rub off on you at all? Were you skewed?
No, I don't. I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't seem. I
I
haven't-
don't think so.
It doesn't seem like it
You know,
has.
I took it through the filter, right through the lens in which it came.
Yeah.
Because I feel very lucky, to have you and your brother and your sister, and I truly feel like I have the best husband in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been easy, but
What's
truly the best husband for me.
31 years?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
31 years of marriage.
Thank you.
That's pretty amazing. And you worked hard at it.
Yeah, we have worked hard at it.
You've worked very hard at it.
Yeah, but I feel lucky. I think people go into marriage thinking it's going to be sunshine and roses every day. And one time I was at a Catholic mass and the priest said, "You don't know what love is until you actually hate the person because they've disappointed you and you choose to love them anyway."
Wow.
And that hit for me.
Wow.
Now, it doesn't mean you should put up with abuse. Doesn't mean you should put up with something that's unhealthy,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there are days where they're going to piss you off and you're not going to like them.
How long into the marriage did it take for you to truly love him?
It grows. It grows. And it gets better. I mean, I feel like I'm a lucky one because we grew from some of the hard times and got closer and better. And, I'm proud of people who get out if it's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, we grew through some hard times.
Well, how do you know the difference? Because you're right. I mean,
You
we did go
don't.
through hard shit.
You don't.
Like, and so easily you could have been like, yo, let's separate. Let's not continue
Yeah.
this. I guess, yeah, it's like, how do you know whether to stick it out or not?
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of therapy, a lot of counseling. Had I been in a healthier spot, I mean, we're talking, 25 years ago, right? The last 25 years have been great, but the first 7, not so terrific. Or a year or 2 of that, not so terrific. And had I been in a healthier spot, maybe I would have left, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
again, I'm thrilled and so blessed to have what I have now because we're so close and healthy and not dysfunctional. But for a while, not so great.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you've never been a drinker? I
No.
feel like, which I've always
Yeah.
enjoyed. Was that intentional because your
Yeah.
dad was such a drinker? Like, do you think you were like, yo,
Oh, you are going
hell
here.
yeah, this is a big part of your
Oh,
life.
Wow.
And also, you're a natural here. You're like looking into the camera.
Yeah.
You're like dropping quotes.
Um,
Damn right I'm going there.
I do enjoy a glass of wine or 2.
Or Amaro. You're
Or
big
Ama-
on you're big on
yes.
your Amaro
Yes.
right now.
Well, you got me turned on to that. Thank you. Love it. But I don't like the feeling of tipsy because then it feels out of control. And I would imagine that comes from having an alcoholic father.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I've really got it on both sides.
You do. That's why you have to be careful.
Yeah, I think I've never really liked drinking either until like more recently. And then I was like, oh, I don't like that. Like I actually was like enjoying like a couple weddings where like we're drinking and I was like, it's kind
And
of
I
fun.
think occasionally, as long as everybody's safe and you have a plan and a designated driver and it doesn't become a habit, no, great. It's when it becomes something you depend on for daily life, that's when it gets scary.
Mm.
For me.
Why do you think those people become alcoholics? It's like they're just scared to face reality, so they numb it.
I think I don't know. I'm not a counselor.
You're pretty good at judging
but
human psychology, though.
I do have a sociology, psychology underminer.
Mm.
So I do think that sometimes alcohol, when abused, just like drugs, can be a crutch, right? It masks the real problem.
Let's talk about business. You started a business with your amazing business partners 14 years ago?
Coming on 16.
Oh, shoot. I should know
Yeah.
that number.
With Chris Ferry and Stuart Lee, who are two amazing individuals, super smart, much smarter than I am. They just get it. And I was lucky enough to be asked to go along, and we thought we would start. I already had my HR practice, which was thriving. At that time, I had clients in almost every state. I always represent the employer at the high level. I don't get involved in the day-to-day. It's compliance work. But we had so many of my clients and their clients ask for staffing help, and we were so busy that we're like outsourcing it and feeling like the people we were outsourcing it to were throwing spaghetti against the wall and not really servicing the client and getting big checks for it. So we're like, hey, we can do this better. We can do it right and put some of the money in our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought it would be a boutique shop, but we've been exceptionally blessed with an incredible staff of coworkers that are very loyal, see the vision, care about finding good jobs for people. And, 16 years later, most of ours is aggregate area, Iowa, South Dakota, Nebraska. But in this last year, you and a few other folks, Lexi Morgan, have helped us take it national. And so it's just super exciting as to where it's going.
I've been fortunate to see the business since you started it, right? Like through summers or just popping down to the office growing up. And then more recently, like really getting more involved in it and lucky to be a part of it. And so half of it is like this HR stuff that you're talking about, right? You're like, give me an example that people would understand of something that you might help an employer on.
The employer is getting sued because of wrongful termination.
Wrongful termination meaning like
So the person who was fired is saying, I was fired because I'm over the age of 40, or I was fired because I am gay.
Okay, so half your business is like HR stuff. And the other half, the side that I really love, is finding people jobs, right? Or recruiting. And so you'll find a business says, hey, we need to have a new CFO or a new CEO or accountant or engineer.
Yeah.
And then
a lot of high level positions.
And then your company goes and finds
headhunting
those people.
Yeah.
Which is pretty baller. You're like, when you think about meaningful work, it's like, what's more meaningful than finding somebody a good job?
Well, and I think what makes you good at it, I feel like I'm doing an infomercial here. Sorry, guys. What makes you so good about it is you get to know the company really well. So you know what skill set they're looking for and what fit they're looking for. And then you get to know the clients really well, the people who are looking for jobs, and you make sure it's really a fit instead of, let's match them and get out.
Well, I just think the stakes are so high.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been fortunate to see, how many entrepreneurs through the podcast in my life. And so, how hard it is to build and scale companies. And to do that successfully, you have to have just such incredible talent and people, which you do at your company.
Yeah.
So you have to have amazing people. And then I've also seen how big of a difference a good job makes in your life, for better or worse. It's a
bad job. I mean, even if it's good money, but it's the wrong fit, it sucks.
It's like you're going to become a bad husband, a bad dad, a bad wife if you don't have a job that you love.
You're going to be grumpy.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it just feels to me that the stakes are really high. And so take the time. And I think fit is everything. Like if you're bad in this job, I think you could be good in another job.
As long as it's the right fit. And as long as you're not a problem child. And there are problem children out there.
Yeah, I think there's some people that are never going to be successful or happy.
Yeah.
But I do think putting people in the right environment matters a lot.
Agreed. And listening.
What do you mean by that?
I think you have to really peel the onion and dig, because sometimes when you're talking to an applicant or even a client company who's trying to place the person, they're going to give you the politically correct answer, and you have to make sure that you are really understanding what they're looking for. Does the person have to be really proficient on the computer? Do numbers matter? Are they a people person? Is this a customer facing role? Is it an individual contributor role? You have to really understand so that you can place the right person.
Mm.
And I'm proud of every client we pick does not discriminate. They do everything right, which is why we choose to work with them. And we've said no thank you to a whole lot of clients because they don't mean to do something wrong. They're just not thinking bigger picture. But those aren't people that we work with. And the folks we work with, want to do it right on both sides.
Mm-hmm. What's the hardest part of your job?
Right now, it's a lot. Success is great and we're thriving, but I right now am struggling with work-life balance. So that's why I'm hoping that you'll help me with that.
Tell me more about that. Or maybe don't.
Yeah. Again, I have amazing support, amazing coworkers,
Yeah.
amazing team
You do have the
that
best
I
team.
could not do what I do without them.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, we've always had very good business, but this last couple of years has been exceptional, which is a great problem to have. But I can feel myself, I need to align better and get some good staff in there above and beyond what we already have so that we can sustain it.
Yeah. I think that you're too busy, is what you're saying. You get between 50 and 70 phone calls a day.
Yeah.
Which is insane. 50 to 70 phone calls a day. And it's because people continuously lean on you to solve their problems. If I was going to give you one title, it would be like chief problem solver, which I've always thought is like the best thing you can be in the world, right? Because there's constantly going to be problems in the world. And you've been that for your clients, for our family, no matter what. You're always like, hey, you could murder somebody and we will figure it out. Like
Hopefully you don't.
Hopefully we don't. You taught us not to. You also taught us if something, like no matter what happens, we will figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, there's nothing that would stop me from loving you. Maybe that's the right way to say it.
That's politically correct and nice to say, yes. I think you also did teach us that we'll get through no matter what. I hope the feds aren't listening. They are not common listeners of Permission to Shine. But I think you've also done that like for my friends. I remember in high school when friends would come over, I'd be like, wait, why are you at my house right now? And they're like, oh, because I'm like dealing with a breakup and I want to come talk to your mom about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Like, that's so nice and like so cool. And I'm just curious why you think you've become that person.
I don't know the answer to that. I do think that my job is problem solving. It's assessing information very quickly, asking all the right questions to understand what the next steps are, right? And sometimes that happens very quickly. Dangerous situations, hostile employees, somebody with a gun. I've had that happen a number of times. I've had people come to our house with the intention of harming us because they got fired. And again, I pride myself on I'm extremely employee friendly. I will not work with a client that is not employee friendly, and I won't let a client hide behind me. I don't have any clients that hide behind me because their moral compass aligns with mine and my partners. But I think maybe just the way I grew up, right? I think you learn to adapt to any situation and navigate and take care of and fix.
So you think you just gained like hyper awareness? Because it's a bit of a sixth sense, right? You could always kind of predict things or see through cloudy situations that maybe the rest of us couldn't. And you would predict, hey, that party's going to get busted tonight. Yeah. We'd go to the party and then sure enough, it gets busted. I'm like, what the hell? She's right again.
Yeah, I think, my siblings would say the same, and not that we talk about it much. We try not to talk about it, actually. Um, but I think when you grow up in chaos, you get really good at sensing, reading the room
Mm-hmm.
and reading people, and you're able to, you do create a sixth sense. I was a shy, weird, quiet kid who was scared of my own shadow, right?
It's so shocking.
No, I really was. It took me a while to mature. And as an adult, I now see, I was kind of stunted development a little bit, maturity wise. I didn't come into my own until late 20s because I was catching up in maturity.
Mm. When do you feel like things started to go well for you in your life?
Boy, right around that same time, I started paying a lot of attention to, I had great friends, met your dad, and I had dated some really great people before. I was very lucky. I felt very blessed. Just hadn't found the right person. Always felt like something was better around the corner.
Mm.
And even had
You were
thought,
sampling the charcuterie board.
yes, I was. That's what I like to say. But not sampling in the way you're thinking.
No, I mean
Yeah.
dating.
Yeah.
Don't be
Yeah.
weird.
Then I met your dad. And literally on our first date, I thought, this has potential. And what was weird is I had started to think maybe I wouldn't meet the right person.
Wow.
Maybe I was just going to be an aunt and love my nieces and nephews because I have great nieces and nephews, fantastic folks. And I was very close to them. But then I met your dad, and he had Ben, who was 3. And
Cute as a bug.
cute as a bug, dimples, pixie face, just melted my heart. And I fell in love with Ben at the same time that I was falling in love with Steve.
Mm.
And it was truly the biggest gift of my life.
What about dad? Because you'd been lucky, right? You were like a pretty woman and you're fit and you had it going for you.
Back then.
And so
Yeah.
you're still rocking a mom. And so you had a lot of
Getting
male
old's hard.
attention.
Getting old's hard.
Oh,
It is.
yeah.
Menopause sucks. You guys know.
Yeah, it does seem really hard, particularly for women, right?
Mhm.
And I'm curious about what drew you to dad specifically.
The way he treated Ben,
Mm.
the way he loved and nurtured and cared for Ben. He was a single dad, no mom in sight. Ben's mom wasn't around. Ben's birth mom wasn't around. And he did it on his own with some help. His parents helped. But yeah, that was it.
Mm.
And I fell in love quickly.
And you realized pretty quickly that you were going to marry him, right?
We met in early February and got married in October.
And your first date was where?
Oh, Applebee's.
Applebee's. Let's go.
Yeah.
Didn't your I don't know if I'm allowed
It
to
worked
say
out
this.
well.
Didn't your ex-boyfriend show up to
Yes.
the date and
Yes, he
sat at
did.
the booth next to you?
Yes,
And
yes. He did.
any more details on that one or we're moving
no,
along?
We'll move along.
So I sent you a list of questions before, like I normally do with
Mhm.
podcast guests, and you only asked me to remove one question. I'm getting a look. You asked me to remove the question, how many times were you proposed to? I'm not going to ask you how many times you were proposed to. I'm just going to ask you why you asked me to remove the question.
I just don't think it's relevant.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
It was multiple times, guys.
Again, wonderful, nice people. Unfortunately, 4 of them are dead now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That, if nothing makes you feel your age, that does it.
Okay, you're also 60. You're not
Yeah.
85, okay?
Yeah, I'm 60. Turned 60 this year. And 4 people that I didn't get married till I was older, right? I was 29. So I had plenty of time to have serious relationships that just weren't right for marriage. I just, like I said earlier, thought something better was around the next corner. And 4 of those people are now dead. And that makes you face your own mortality big time.
But they also died in like their 50s and like
Yeah.
most of them in their 50s?
Yeah. All in their 50s.
Yeah, how do you process that? What's the takeaway there?
For me, it's life isn't about possessions. Life isn't about money. It's about love and family and legacy and giving back to the world.
Hmm.
And I hope I do that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you definitely do. Big time. Through everything you're creating. What do you wish you would have known about marriage that you know now? Or I guess what advice would you give to somebody that's like just starting marriage?
Make sure you're friends,
Mm.
right? I think sometimes what you look for in a boyfriend is different than what you look for in a husband. Um, and I think it's changed, right? For me, it was you wanted to date the person who was really attractive, hot, um, fun. And to me, marriage is fun, attraction's important, sex is important. But you want them to be stable and loving and kind and a good nurturer.
I think friends is a good point.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I'm just like, all right, I have the best friends in the world.
Hmm. You do. You have amazing friends.
And I'm like, I literally just need one more and it needs to be a girl. I'm like, that's it. Like, I just need a girl best friend. And then I got my wife.
Yeah. I think you have to just figure out what's important to you.
Oh, you don't think I know that?
Yeah.
I got a list of 14 things that I'm looking for, baby. Just dial in.
What are they?
Manifest.
What are they?
Oh, boy.
Oh, wait a minute. I've answered your questions. Now you answer mine.
No. We're on the way here and we're talking to all these people that you work with.
This could be good.
Talking to other people you work with, and they're like, all right, ask her some hard questions finally. She always gets away with asking people hard questions and you always put people in the hot seat.
What's on the list?
Oh, let's see. Hold on. It's in my notes app.
Oh my God, you have notes.
Hell yeah. It's called Wife Manifested.
Awesome.
There's also some things that are implied here that I already know, right? Like they have to be kind and community is important to them. And like, all right, rapid fire. Also, I don't know if I want this out there.
Oh, Andrew, you got to manifest it. Put it out
Well,
there.
it's manifested, but I don't want a girl to like read it or hear it and then be like, oh, try to like.
You would know.
I'll see through that
And
shit.
how conceited of you to think a girl would be a chameleon just off your list.
Look,
That's kind of conceited.
I've seen enough of them. All right, loves to host, good at cooking healthy food, stylish goddess, brings me a new world of fun people, events, and hobbies. She's a calming force. I think
Yeah.
that's super important, just like
Yeah.
being an anchor. She doesn't know the words "I told you so."
Ooh, yeah.
I've got to get a shout out
That's
to
a
my
hard one.
ex, Elizabeth. She was very good at that and taught me that one. The next one,
To not do it.
to not do that.
She was good at not
She was
doing
good at
it.
not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. All right, fine as F, beautiful. I get lost in her eyes and want to brag out about how hot she is. The next one, I respect and crave her opinion on everything, friends, work, and spirituality. You and Katie set the bar really high for that. I think respect is probably the foundation of a healthy relationship.
Mhm.
And I feel like I have my own board of directors,
Mhm.
right? And like I just want to add somebody to that.
Mhm.
I love going to people for advice. The next one is that she pursues religion.
Yeah, okay. Your religion or a religion?
A.
So it doesn't have to be yours.
Because I kind of think of religion like all is one. I'm not like, oh, you have to be like, if I'm Catholic and you're Buddhist, I'm superior.
Right.
I've studied it all, right? I've been in Nepal, Bhutan, all these places and Buddhist temples, loved it. Currently going to a Catholic church in New York City, St.
God is
Patrick's
God.
Basilica. Like, it's cool. Just have your practice, have your beliefs, show up, work hard, believe in something bigger than yourself to like humble yourself. I think that's important. All right. She can equally hang and rule Nepal and a bougie hotel. I think that contrast is important. She's no drama. That's a big value of mine.
You've actually said that twice.
No drama.
Uh-huh.
She asks really thoughtful questions, pours into me endlessly, resilient / problem solver. We can get through anything together. And then the last one is that she has a healthy relationship with her dad.
Okay, interesting. Why?
I've just seen that usually sets you up for success a bit more. But you're an example. I mean, let's call it, right? Like you didn't have the best relationship with your dad and you turned out great.
Thank you. Took some work, and I had a lot of other great people in my life.
But it's interesting, right? People either like adapt that behavior and continue to mirror it, or I feel like you're like, nope.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you cut the line.
Reverse.
Yeah.
And you cut that shit.
Well, don't you think that some people use it as, oh, I don't want to piss anybody off?
No,
because
no, 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 no.
everybody's situation is unique, right? So
Say
but
it.
I think sometimes, once in a while, people can use something as a crutch, and you definitely deserve all the therapy, all the nurturing, all the love. But at some point, you have to say, I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to get what I need. I'm going to get healthy because I'm not going to pass that shit on to my kids.
But dude, you are the perfect example of not having an excuse. You could have made so many excuses for your life. And I won't sit here and share everything, but like you had a effed up childhood. Like I'll say it really, really fucking bad. And never once have I heard you been like, oh, it's because of that or whatever. Like zero excuses. Never ever.
Well, for me, it's two different lifetimes, right? First of all, remember that, again, back to my siblings, they protected me a lot. They took a good portion of the inappropriate behaviors and abuse, very inappropriate. So that was a different lifetime. And then you become an adult and you realize how screwed up it was. Because when you're in it, you know it's screwed up, but you don't realize how. And then you just say, okay, I am not going to pass that shit forward. So with a lot of help and a lot of love and, I think God gave me that's not right. I'm not passing any of that.
What do you think somebody who's like in an abusive house like that needs?
An advocate who's really going to listen and going to believe them,
and
somebody who's going to pay attention. I think times have changed too. Back then, it was don't take it outside the family. Don't tell your teachers, don't tell your friends. This is family business. We don't share what happens behind the door. And now, completely different culture. People are paying attention. They care. There's a lot of resources.
I see when my classmate was getting abused. Remember that when I was super young?
I was so proud of you.
Well, you encouraged me to do it. But yeah, she was like, did she tell me or something? She like told me? Or?
Yeah, you were in middle school. We won't say her name, and we won't say the school, but you were in middle school, and you came home and said that a girl who you weren't even that good of friends with, but she had shared with you that her father was having sex with her.
Jeez.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning. I'm sorry, I should have said that beforehand. And we didn't know if it was true or not, but we knew that we needed to tell the right people so that the right people could do an investigation, right? So you and I went up to the school, and the school counselor and the principal sat down with us, and you were very careful. You were so mature, and you said, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't want to say anything bad about anyone, but I will repeat what she told me. And it ended up that she was being abused. And so I'm grateful and thankful that she felt comfortable sharing it with you and that you took it seriously.
Just be the advocate, right? Because I think like he ended up going to jail or like, she got out of the house. And
she ended up getting out of the house, which was
a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
It's wild. Just be the advocate.
Yeah.
And switching gears, one thing that I've seen you be very good at, I think one of the harder parts of your jobs is that you have to fire people, unfortunately, sometimes.
Yeah, quite often. Quite often.
Like, not that this is a statistic to be proud of, but like how many people do you think you've had to fire?
Well, you got to realize I've been doing this for, 25 years with hundreds and hundreds of clients. And sometimes they call me in to handle the more typical situations. So, well over a couple thousand.
Yeah, that's a lot. What have you learned about the art? Like, I think it's something our listener probably has to do a lot, right? A lot of them are business leaders. Yep. Unfortunately, no one likes to do it. I've had to do it. I didn't like it.
Yep.
What do you think is the art of firing somebody with a lot of empathy?
That's it. Empathy. Don't do it when you're angry. Control your message in your method. That's big. I'm going to say that again. Don't lose your message in your method. If you go in heavy-handed and you shame that person, shame on you. So what you want to do is, one, you want to do it in a controlled, safe fashion, because, you know, 99% of people are wonderful, but there is that 1% that might become dangerous. And I have seen that a number of times. So you want to be very careful and assume and take precautions every time. But you want to be soft. You want to, one, make sure it's a legal firing, right? You've taken them through a process. You've done your fact finding. You've given them an opportunity to improve. You've made sure that there was truly a policy violation in attendance, performance, or conduct. Most states look at those three buckets. You want to show your homework, that you're not overreacting, and that you're fair and consistent across the company. It's really important, fair and consistent. Make sure that you're not discriminating against a protected class. Look up EEOC protected classes.
EOC protected classes.
EEOC.
EEOC.
Yep. But then when you actually sit down to fire the person, and sometimes it's over the phone, you're going to be as warm as possible. Not fake and phony, because they can smell that, and then they just resent it. But be warm. You know, for example, you know, Joe, we really appreciate the fact that you've worked here. We appreciate the fact that you've tried. But your skill set simply just does not align with what we need right now. And typically, if somebody's getting fired, it's not a surprise because they knew they were violating. They pretty much fired themselves. But you're still going to be warm and kind and depersonalize it. You know, you're a good person. You simply made a mistake. We have no choice but to follow our policy here. You know, it's not personal to you, but we have to be fair and consistent. So today is going to be your last day. We're going to go get your things. And then you de-escalate the situation, treat them as kindly as possible without overdoing, right? Because you want to maintain control, because some people are going to be very nice and they'll get it. Other people are going to be very angry, and you just have that whole situation controlled while not getting angry yourself.
That's good. You're very good at it.
And then you make sure that you don't criticize or talk badly about the employee after they're gone, because one, that's a violation. Two, they'll hear it. Somebody will tell them what you said, and that's hurtful.
Yeah, you have a gift of it, for sure.
Well, thank you.
And I think people are lucky. I know that it's heavy on you a lot of times. I know that that's, you know, sometimes you take that home. But I think they're lucky to have you delivering the news versus somebody else who doesn't do it with as much empathy.
Yeah. Thank you for that. That's a big compliment. I would rather be the one to do it sometimes rather than somebody who's going to maybe not do it right, because it never feels good to get fired. It sucks. But at least we can make it as easy as possible on that person.
Yeah. What do you think it takes to consistently grow your business, right? You're 16 years in, the best it's ever been. You're working a lot with the construction of data centers. So,
And a lot of others, yeah.
and, you know, a lot of tailwind on many fronts. The data center space is pretty interesting. But what do you think it takes to grow?
One, you have to not get complacent. You have to constantly be challenging that the status quo is not good enough.
And how do you do that?
You surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. And that's what I have at Elite Executive Partners. I have people who are smarter than me.
But you have to push your people.
They like me to push them. They want me to push them. You know, they'll say, hold me accountable.
Is that easy for you to push people?
Depends on the person. But I would say yes. Just because we all have the same goal, we all have the same outcome in mind, and everybody who's on the team has drank the Kool-Aid and cares about Elite Executive Partners as much as I do.
Yeah, they do. They have a lot of ownership.
They do. And again, I've got great partners. I've got a great team. They operate with or without me.
How do you trust people and have empathy and create that kind of family environment that y'all have created while still holding people accountable? Like, I don't think business is going to be successful unless you have hard conversations and you push people.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're giving enough credit to how much y'all have to push each other.
Yeah. You create and I do this a lot in my own business and then with my client companies, right? Because people tend to avoid what makes them uncomfortable.
Mm.
And they have to realize that conflict, when handled appropriately, is a great thing. We grow from conflict, we learn from conflict. So we do a lot of training on how to have those uncomfortable conversations, right? Without saying this person's name, I have somebody I work with very closely on my team. She's amazing. Sometimes if I give feedback, she's going to hear it as a criticism rather than as a, hey, try it this way. And so we created a code word,
Mm.
and her code word is avocado. So if she's feeling like, hey, I might not have understood you right, she says the word avocado, which is my trigger, my warning to go back and address an issue, to talk further, to say, did you understand? Are we on the same page?
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it works great.
Because it is. It's unavoidable that you're going to have hard conversations.
Do it all the time.
Which,
We have hundreds of clients, and I have pared that down as I've gotten older. I've narrowed it down to spending more time with a select group of clients who I've dearly love. But no one's going to grow if you just stick with the status quo. You have got to push. You got to push your people. You got to hold them accountable. You have to stretch them, and you have to set those expectations.
I think it also reminds me of like the gym. It's like, when are you ever happy getting your ass kicked at the gym? You're not, but you're getting better. You know, it's like the same thing at work. It's like sometimes, iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
And then I just think if you know that you have that person's best interest at heart, like you're really looking out for them,
Yeah.
that matters. And you do. Like, you love your teammates, your partners so much.
And you have to have their back.
And I've literally seen you get on your hands and knees, and kiss their feet. Literally.
I was joking.
After having a hard conversation, you're like, but it was a joke. But it's symbolic of the kind of leader.
Yeah.
That
You have to care, and you have to be real. And you have to be available. Yeah, where I struggle is I'm so busy that I can fall down on my communication. So that's where I recognize I always have to do better, is being really clear and setting those expectations.
I think one thing I've loved, right now I'm splitting time between New York and Iowa, which is like the best of both worlds. And I love being in Iowa because of the office environment. Like so many people are remote. I'm like, I don't like the remote, like work from wherever vibe. Like, I like being in an office, and especially elites, because there's couches. Lexi's done an amazing job at decorating it.
Yeah.
So it's cozy. We play music. The dog is in there. It's like, as long as things are buzzing and it's humming, you could walk around barefoot. It's like, doesn't matter. If you're getting shit done.
Because we believe in what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we're helping people.
Helping people. Big time.
Yeah.
So kudos.
That's what feels good.
What do you hope that I understand about you that maybe I don't yet?
Oh, that's tough. Because I feel like you do get me so well. Here's what I like about our family. I like that we are very close. We're very real with each other. We like each other. Not only do we love each other, but we like each other. The idea of our tree, and we have a base that's super solid, and you can always rely on that base. But then the limbs go out and create their own life, so that, because you are you, right? We want you to have roots, but the cliche of the wings, right? We want you to go do. We want Katie to go do. We want Ben to go do, and have your own lives. And I hope when I am done with my journey, I can look back and feel like all of you have felt love, support, and total freedom to go be whoever you need to be. And I look forward to, I know you want to get married someday, and I look forward to honoring your wife. I know that it's funny because you and I are so close, but your wife is going to come first, as she should, right?
Yes.
And I will be somewhere in the back of that cheering you guys on.
I think the tree is the perfect symbol, right? You've given us such a strong foundation, right? You've been so intentional at just pouring love into us and instilling confidence in us, giving us the tools we need to succeed, and then giving us the freedom to go. It was, I remember when I'd want to go to China or South Africa in college, you were a pain in the ass to make it happen, but you let me do it.
And okay, and that's funny that that's an example of yours because I actually think in hindsight, I look back, you, Ben, and Katie are all 5 years different, right?
Uh-huh.
And I feel like with Ben, I was way too strict. Way too strict. I should have been looser. I didn't know what I didn't know. And then with you, we were way, way, way too generous. As in, oh, you're going to drink this tonight? We'll have the party in the basement. Don't drive. The friends have to make sure, the parents had to know. But what the hell was I thinking? Right? I mean, it was safe, but, and then Grandma Honey buying you alcohol.
Shout out
That's
Grandma
terrible.
Honey.
That's terrible. In hindsight,
Oh, good memories.
yes, you were a senior in high school, but we were way too lenient with that. And then with Katie, she just did it. She didn't break the rules.
No, she's just an angel.
Yeah,
It's
she didn't break the
ridiculous.
rules.
Thank God she came
Yeah.
last. If she came first, she'd have made us look so bad.
Yeah,
Ben
she
and I.
would have. She would have.
Student body president, didn't drink. I don't know how that happened.
We just got lucky. But all of you were your own individuals and turned out fabulous. And we could not be more proud of each and every one of you. You just each had your own journey.
Yeah.
But I feel like we were different parents for each of you because we were different stages of our life.
I hope somebody listening to this remembers the Grandma Honey parties. Because, man, those were good. The fact that Grandma would let us throw parties at her house.
Not good.
In high school.
Yeah, in hindsight, not good.
Sometimes she'd be upstairs. Sometimes she'd be out.
Yeah. Yeah, again, not a proud mom.
No, it was amazing.
No. In
Who got
hindsight, I
to
would
have
not.
parties at their Grandma Honey's house?
In hindsight, that is not something we should have. I mean, we didn't know, but I should have known.
No, thank God we got that opportunity. She's the OG, the red minivan.
Do you know how lucky we are that nothing bad happened?
What do you mean? Kids are kids.
And here's the thing. When you have kids of your own, you are going to be so strict.
So
I
strict, I bet.
can already smell it. Your kids are not going to get away with
No, I'm
anything.
going to drop them off and rule Nepal.
And you're going to say, I have done what you're thinking about doing. Don't do it.
They're going to spend most of their life in rural Nepal, learning lessons.
Let's turn the tables here. What do you wish we would, also give this to me, as a parent, what could I have done better?
Oh my gosh. That's a hard question.
No, be real.
Okay, the only thing I think we've had the best. The only thing is I didn't like ever seeing you and Dad fight in front of us.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing like with my future wife. I'd just be
Yep.
like, hey, if we ever have disagreements, let's handle them between you and I before we take them anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was,
That's it. But you
Yeah.
guys, you and Dad both grew up in such explosive houses.
that's part of that
Like,
early
dude, Dad's
on. Yeah.
mom threw him through the windshield and broke his femur when he was 14. Right?
I think he was 11 and he was in a full body cast.
11, because she was drunk driving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fled California for Iowa.
And back then, no consequences for drunk driving.
He was in the hospital for what, like
Weeks and weeks, and
Fi-
then
like
in a full body cast for
5
months.
weeks or I don't know, months or yeah.
Yeah. I agree. In hindsight, there is no parent handbook, right? But when I look back, in those early years where things weren't great, for those of you that don't know, Steve is 23 years sober, but he spent,
My dad.
and very proud to be 23 years sober.
He's so good.
He's so great. He's so amazing. But the year or two before that were messy. And that's what we're talking about here. When you're in it, you get so stuck in it. And I think I wanted you to be mad at him. I was so mad that I wanted you guys to be
You
so
did.
mad.
Yeah, you want
And how
It's true.
dysfunctional, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would never do that now. But live and learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm grateful that you were able to talk about those things so that you don't carry them forward
Mhm.
and pass them forward.
Yeah. Well, and you've done a great job at implementing traditions as well, I think, like mental health check-ins. I get nervous even saying the words because I'm like, gosh dang it, when's the
They
next
cringe.
one?
They cringe, but they do
Oh,
them.
what is it?
We do them regularly, and we have an honesty circle. It sounds so corny, but we just say
Within the family, right?
just with the family, and we say, "How are you doing?" Really, don't give us the politically correct answer. How are you truly doing, and how can we best support you?
They usually result in tears, and they're an hour plus, and
Yep.
people get nervous because you know that you can't hide anything. Because
Well, don't you think everybody at some point in life goes through a hard time?
definitely,
And we want to have a family where we're real and honest and support each other without enabling.
I remember many, like several
Yeah.
in a row, that I had to say, "I'm depressed. I fucking hate this. It's like this life
Yeah,
sucks
the
right now."
Boulder period was a little rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I get to say, "Man, life is good." It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to kind of see that
Yeah.
evolve.
We're so lucky.
Yeah. Good night, oh dear Jesus. Another tradition.
Mhm.
What is that?
Okay, that is a prayer that you started
In
kindergarten,
kindergarten.
and it's the sweetest, cutest thing. That's how Mrs. Schmidt would end your day, and you loved it. So you came home and taught it to me, and we adapted it, and adapted it to have the second part. And we have done it either in person or via text almost every day since you were in kindergarten.
It's crazy.
I didn't expect it to continue when you went to college, and you kept doing it. And you do it no matter what city you're in, if you're in Nepal, if you're halfway across the world. I initiated or you do, and we do it every single night.
Let's
And
do
it's
it.
just a quick text.
Let's do it real quick. Good night, our dear Jesus.
The one we love best.
Our day is finished.
So now we can rest.
Bless us this day.
Bless us this night
Keep us from danger.
till morning is light.
Amen.
Good angels look over us and keep us safe. God give us many years as a happy, healthy family. Amen. And then you do cross, heart, and then you spell out the next letter in the name, which we'll start with C for Christopher.
How about that? I think the weirdest thing about our family is the fact that your two aunts and uncle live together for how many years?
Yeah.
We have to share that.
Yeah.
We love them.
Yeah.
So your
Yes,
dad was
yes.
one of four,
My dad was one of four.
and he was the only one who got married.
Yep, and I suspect he was abused, hence the carrying forward of inappropriate behavior. And he went away, and it was in the army, sent all of his money back to take care of his family. They spent the money that he sent back to put his younger brother through law school. You can imagine how pissed off he was, right? And then he married a woman who he had just met. Grandma was in the convent, and she left she was mad at her parents for putting her in the convent. She went away for the weekend on a pass and got pregnant with a guy she had just met. And so they got married, shotgun wedding, which was technically her second wedding because the first wedding was to Jesus. She even we have a picture of her in a wedding dress.
I got to see that.
Getting married to Jesus.
I got to see that photo.
Very weird. I mean, lovely, right? I admire the religion. I admire her faith. But clearly she wasn't living it So then they had a shotgun wedding. He was the only one that ever dated, left the fold. The rest of them grew up together. And now there's my aunt who is 92. She's the only one left.
So Donna, Janine, and Pat,
Yeah.
your two aunts and your uncle, literally lived together their entire life.
Yeah, and I don't think it was weird. I don't think it was.
No, they weren't like an incest throuple or anything.
No,
but
they
like
weren't a throuple.
they never got married.
Yeah.
They never had their own homes.
Yeah.
They literally lived in the same house together until they died.
Yes.
And that has to be the weirdest thing about our family.
It is weird. Being the age I am now, my guess, and of course you would never talk about it, but my guess is they were abused, and they were like
Trust issues galore.
trust issues. Yeah,
I mean, how long have they been in that house? Since the 70s?
for as long as I can remember.
Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
I feel sad for them. I feel bad.
Should Ben, Katie,
know,
and I
they
do
never-
that?
What?
Should Ben, Katie, and I do
Oh dear
that?
God!
Should
Can you
we,
imagine?
should we get a house and just
You guys would kill each other.
just bunker down? Oh,
I feel sad. I know. I feel so sad for them.
who do you
sad.
think would be the first to die? Ben, Katie, or I?
felt-
Who would get taken
Stop.
out first?
I feel so sad for them that they never got to live their own
That
lives.
sucks.
They never got to have love. They never got to have sadness. They never got to experience children if they chose to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that they were happy in their own way, but it makes me sad.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love you, Mom. I'm glad
I
we
love
got to do.
you.
I'm so glad we got to do this. It's a huge honor for me.
I feel
very
very vulnerable.
fortunate.
I feel like I've shared
This
a
was
lot.
great. This was such a fun conversation for me. And from you getting to sit in the first, well, really even back further, 2 Christmases ago, we were
Jim.
well, wouldn't even be before that.
Yeah.
We were lucky to be in Paris 2 Christmases ago. We started this tradition of going somewhere new for Christmas every year. And I said, hey, I want to do this podcast. And you were extremely supportive and said, send it, go for it.
Yeah.
And
You've
that
done
meant,
great things.
that meant the world to me. And then seeing the first episode with Jim Moore, right, who ran GQ
That's so
for
great.
a long time.
And to see what was fun for me was this was a guy who had it all, very wealthy, very successful, ran GQ magazine, and he shows up and he's the nicest guy. And he was self-conscious, just like the rest of us. None of us want to look stupid or unattractive on camera. And he was very self-conscious.
Yeah. I thought he was
And
gonna,
you did a great job of making him feel comfortable.
Thank you. I think all those days in the OR learned me how to keep somebody calm
Yeah.
because he definitely freaked
Yeah.
out a little bit. That was a fun day for me. And then to get to do this today.
Well, thank you. It's such an honor. It's an honor to be your mom, Andrew. I feel honored to be your mom, to be Ben's mom, to be Katie's mom, and to be Steve's wife, and to have the elite team and my partners, again, Stuart and Chris. I just have lived such a blessed life.
Mm-hmm.
I could die tomorrow and feel like God has given me my perfect dream. I feel so loved and feel so lucky to love you guys.
Well said.
And I have amazing friends.
Yeah. And it's not a coincidence. You are by far the most intentional person that I know. You have made that happen through sheer hard work and intentionality and having the hard
Right.
conversations and doing the hard thing for the vision and for the dream. And because you're able to think big.
Well, that's very kind of you.
It's true.
You're giving me way too much credit.
No, I'm not. I'm
That's
not giving you.
kind.
I'm not giving you enough because I just want it on record that I love you so much, and you mean the world to me.
Right back at you, honey.
That's it. Thank you so much for tuning in to Permission to Shine, the podcast dedicated to sharing the most humble, inspiring stories that I know you will love. Again, this is Andrew Namanny. I appreciate you tuning in. As always, please reach out. Please follow on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, Spotify, Apple. Leave us your thoughts. Let us know who you want as a future guest or what's your takeaways from this conversation. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great, great week.